When we get to my group, we kind of show up and no one really knows each other. We're kind of like, oh, who's that, who's that? We don't really know each other, don't talk well, that much. When we get in Gap, we're forced to, right? Like, that's pretty much the point, to make new friends. And it totally works. Like, everyone is laughing at dinner time, all having a great time. We're passing the food, cleaning up together, putting up each other's tents, helping each other on the trail. It's wonderful. It's the thing I love most about Gap.
Okay, I discovered that I really love hiking because I love being outside and nature.
First of all, I discovered how lucky I actually am looking at these Nepalese. They have to trek for around 3 hours to even get to somewhere, to a city or a shop from their houses. And I'm just like, it bothers me that sometimes I complain and these Nepalese are like, every time I see them they're always smiling. Every time I see them they're always happy. I basically discovered how amazing people can be and how amazing I should be.
In terms of fitness, I'm not fit at all compared to what these guys are, because they have to go so far just to get so little. And honestly, everything's here so cheap, so they get so little. And the kids, I've seen people seen all those kids, like lots of kids, just go around. Like, they are just doing this for education. The parents need it, and everything. It's pretty mental.
Yeah.
And everything's really good looking here. Everything's really difficult. I thought that without all my computers and everything, I would hate life and stuff. But as hard as the trekking is, it's good to have to appreciate all the things around you.
So what I've discovered through this trip is that this may be my first Gap and everything, and I don't really know anyone from this trip. But after it, I got to know so many people, and it brought me so much closer to all the other people, and it was amazing. It was a great experience for me, and it was so much fun.
I learned that I might actually enjoy hiking, because I never thought that I would enjoy hiking for like 4 days. It was kind of hard, but then I learned that maybe like this kind of outdoor activity might be good, and I also like saw a lot of Nepalese people. They were really nice despite the living conditions that they were living in, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah, because normally if you're living in such a poor and an environment that you're not given a lot of things, you're just like, you might not really have that positive attitude about life, but then these people are always like so happy and they're always so willing to help. And yeah, so I learned that maybe I've been given a lot of things compared to them, but I may not be using them quite as well as I might be to its full extent. So yeah, I learned a lot of things over Gap.
I discovered that the environment affects me a lot. Let's see. So this cracker, I usually don't eat them because they suck. I really like it because I'm really hungry. See? I really like it.
Yeah, I think it was a huge wake-up call from coming from Malaysia to Nepal. I think the poverty was pretty insane here compared to Malaysia, and especially me as an American living in the United States. It's been very different, especially a huge wake-up call in terms of third world country.
By looking at how children go to school every morning and afternoon, by walking down the hills and up the hills, and looking at how people grow like corns and everything by themselves, just made me discover how granted we are, and that we shouldn't take things for granted, and we should be really thankful for whatever we have.
I discovered that each individuals are very different. Since we're in international school, we all have different nationalities, so we all have different religion and different thoughts, but other than that, we all have different interests. So yeah, it was very fun to talk to each other and listen someone's talk.
I've discovered that I'm not as old as I was when I first came out here. Being in the mountains and being in the wilderness, it's refreshing, it adds years to my life, I think, and being with a group of young people also makes me feel young as well. So it's been a great week, and I really look forward to more of the same in my many years to come.
I learned how to live independently.
I learned that tolerance goes a long way, and that doesn't necessarily only mean that you think of others, but also that you yourself try to adapt and compromise on your attitudes or your habits, even if that means changing the way that you do things. And when people talk about things like cultural sensitivity, it's not really so much that you say it, it's more that you actually try to practice it. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize, and that's just something that has changed.
During this trip, I've discovered that patience is a virtue. Yeah, and there's so many interesting things about the Nepalese culture, and I have so much respect for them. Those kids who every day have to walk so long to school and climb up and down and stuff. It's pretty bad. I have discovered that the floor, a lot of the ground on the trails that we've been onto is full of mica. It's really amazingly beautiful because it's like mirrors reflecting the sunlight, so it's just so beautiful. I have discovered that the first impression that you have on people is not always the right one, and I've learned so many new things about different people that I just at first judged not in the right way. And I have discovered that the first impression that you have on people is not always the right one, and I've made so many friendships and have so many laughs with people that I didn't think I would even stop bonding with. My group is just, so we're just so close together. We're like a small family, well, a big family actually, 18 of us. And yeah, I've learned to pace myself when walking. Yeah, it was really bad because I'm kind of slow, so I'm pacing myself. It works. I'm telling you people, it works.
This is my very first gap, and I was nervous at first about meeting all the different people because I wasn't really friends with any of them. But just over the last couple days, I've really put in a lot of effort, and in all the hours that we were hiking, I got to know a lot of the people, and it's an amazing group. Everybody is so interesting and comes from different backgrounds, and they have interesting things to talk about. Everyone is really easy to get along with. I was worried that we would have cliques and there would just be some people talking to each other, but really everyone is fantastic. We play really funny games, and other games. It's just been really amazing. And I think I also learned like hiking and trekking is really physically challenging, but also mentally. Because at first I was thinking, oh yeah, gap, like a week off, like no worries. But then once we started trekking, I realized that it's really about mental determination, and then it's not just about like physically doing it, because anyone can do that. But the trekking's really about like how much are you willing to commit to mentally.
I discovered that no matter how hard we work and how much we complain about IB, the porters over here and how much they carry, I don't think our effort stacks up against theirs. I don't think it's nearly enough.
So I think today what I discovered was really apparent was the fact that as we're trekking up and down these trails, there are children in school uniforms. And they're just happily going to school because they really value their education. And that always really strikes me, especially when we're at our own school and it's like a 5-minute commute and these kids are going an hour and a half one way and then they have to go up, you know, to get home, and it's just really amazing. The other thing that really struck me about this country, and I think about myself, is the element of patience, because I'm not always a patient person, and being here you have to be because it's not on your own time schedule. So that's what I did.
I've discovered that over 15 years of travelling to Nepal, it still hasn't lost its magic. It's probably one of the most unique countries in the world to travel to. That will blow you away no matter what. Out of the whole group, I think everyone's at different levels, but everyone's probably, hopefully, got something out of it. And with the group, I've discovered a lot of perseverance, a lot of courage. and a lot of laughter. Actually, it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, had a great.
My Kodak moment was the second morning after we camped at the Swiss Lodge. And I opened my tent and saw all the mountains and the clouds. And then you said, "Have you come outside yet?" And I said, "No." And then I came outside and I couldn't believe what else I could see from my tent on the other side. It was pretty magical.
Last night a bunch of us stayed in the tent really late and talked.
On the second day, early morning, when we saw the several ranges.
Yeah.
And from on top of the rock, that was amazing.
The first one was on the second last day of trekking when we came around the mountain and there was that point where you could see like the two valleys coming together. I thought it was just amazing. Second one was the bus with the cake yesterday, which was so much fun.
The road was not paved. The bus was shaking so much.
I have to agree with Kate that the dinners were especially fun. The times that we talked after.
I like the weather as well, and it's so really great about trekking.
I liked the sunrise on the last morning. When I saw the sunrise.
I agree with sunset. The second morning when we saw all the mountains and all of us climbed up on the hill, and I thought that the lighting had been perfect. And the end of the first day when we saw the campsite, it was just
Thank God for it.
Sunrise in the last morning. That second time we took that group photo with the cows coming in, that view was really nice. I like that.
The dinners were awesome. After dinner, the riddles, they were so fun. And also to go along with that, the bonding that happens during gap. Like during my group, we're not really that close, but then everyone just becomes friends. It's pretty great.
I would have to say the night sky, all the stars you can see at night. You can't see that in the city, so.
What Ty said, well, the riddles and everyone bonded. It felt like we were actually a family. The second one's the stars.
Right home yesterday. I don't know if you guys noticed, but every time the bus came around a corner, you know, he'd blow his horn. And at one point, our bus was blowing the horn, and the other bus coming the way with it was blowing their horn, and it was like having this little battle, you know, deciding who was going to get to go. They finally pulled up right next to each other and stopped, and our driver reached out, and the other driver reached out, and they just kind of smiled and shook hands. Passed by. I thought that just summed up the friendly nature of the people that we've met here, and what a great country it is, and a great place